Hello everyone, it's T here and I'm back with another story time, and I brought a friend along with me. Her name is Lo.
Hi everyone, what's poppin'? I'm so excited to be here for story time.
So this story time is going to be about the time we took our first spring break trip in college, and we went to South Padre. So I'm going to let Lo start the video off first.
So at this point in college, we were all starting to build a relationship with each other, and we wanted to take our first trip. We were all getting to know each other. And what was so special about this trip is, even though it was our first girls trip, we actually were cool with a group of guys, and they came along with us. So we decided we were all college students. We had jobs. We had a little money, but we couldn't do anything major. So the place to go was pretty much South Padre, and it was affordable. So we all made our reservations, and we stopped in Houston the night before so that we can all just, chill, get to know each other. It was some new people on the trip, and just to sleep the night before we take the long drive to South Padre. So there was a plan in place. Everybody knew what we were supposed to be doing, who was riding with who. It was so many people on this trip. It was probably about 10 of us. There was a lot of us. And we already had the ride arrangements decided. And that's the big part of a trip, your accommodations and how we're getting there. And
where we're driving. Three cars.
Three cars. So the problem was, whenever we woke up the next day to go to South Padre, one of the girls who was supposed to drive just up and decided that she didn't want to drive anymore. So that left two of our friends pretty much out of luck, because they didn't have a way to get to South Padre, because one car was already filled up with me and T and her other friends, and the other car was filled up with the guys and two girls that we were cool with. So that left two of our friends pretty much without transportation. So here's where the plot thickens. So our two friends had to get a rental-car, unplanned, unaware, and they had to spend extra finances just to get the rental-car so that we can all drive down this 9-hour drive to South Padre. Was it 9 hours?
I think so.
I feel like it was long.
It was a long trip.
Like, we went through places like it was a long ass road trip. But anyway, so pretty much they got a rental car. So just imagine you're already planning in your head that you're riding with people, and then you were told that you had to get a rental car, and you had to pretty much spend money on getting that. Extra money
that you didn't even plan into it. Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys, but I don't like surprises like that. So I like to pretty much. They were mad. So that's the first strike. That was the first tension on the trip. So if you guys stay tuned, we're gonna tell you how all of this just pretty much unfolded.
So we made a stop in Houston before we went to Padre. So the first problem that came into play is when we were in Houston, they had the conversation about the rental car situation. And Brianna and Tabitha and Brianna had got into it about how it was last minute, and they decided to drop out with everything, and that
Brianna didn't know that she had to get the rental car. And Tabitha was like, well, how else they were, I don't feel like driving. Me and Penelope are not driving.
So Tabitha and Penelope had decided that they weren't going to drive anymore because they were the drivers. So that's when Brianna and Shay.
Oh, you know what it was? Tabitha and Penelope were riding with Darren and Tyler. So, because Penelope she was pretty much saying, oh, I'm going to drive. And then she had that.
She eventually backed out.
She backed out, but that put Brianna and Shay in a bind. So it was just kind of like, wow, one car is already filled, so what do you expect us to do? And we're already on a trip together.
And this was the night before we were going to Houston to do all this.
Can I tell y'all that everything was going good that day? Like when we drove to Houston, because where we went to college, it was only like 2 hours away from Houston. So we got to Houston, we spent the day, like we got into the hotel. Everything was cool, and until we started figuring out, you know, the schematics of everything. And
it just turned into a blowout. Like Brianna and Tabitha ended up getting into it about the situation. It was a lot of yelling and hollering. Mind you, all 10 of us were staying in this one room. So they got into it about the whole situation.
But it was just kind of like it was just kind of like, it was a simple argument that
blew up out of proportion. But when I tell you, it was nothing compared to what happened on the rest of the trip. So they got an understanding. So the next morning, we all are like, okay. We still want to have a good time on our trip. So let's all put everything to the side. We already figured everything out. So let's like not dwell on the situation. So now we're headed to Padre. And it was a good, what did you say, 9 hours?
It was 9 hours,
It was a good, but from Houston, it was like shorter, right?
It probably was, but y'all, I really don't do car rides, so
me either.
It just seemed long, and you know how you're in the car, you just get irritable.
It was annoying.
It was, and then it was like the person that was driving.
And I think us riding with Kiki,
slow.
That's probably why we rode with Kiki, because we were smoking at the time. I want to say.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I think we were all smoking at the time, so we were hitting the blunt around in the car, and that's why we wanted her to drive in the first place. So
she was driving.
She was the most reliable car at the time.
Yeah, she was the most reliable car, because my car. Anyway,
my car. Did I have a car? Yeah, I had a car.
You did have a
car.
My
car was not reliable. Yours, oh yeah.
Mine was like it had my car was used as the taxi cab so much that it had to sit out.
It was worn out, yeah.
Anyway, y'all, let's get to it. So
we get to Padre.
And I think that the whole tension from the beginning in Houston just kind of went away once we got into this condo. Like, it was really nice. And actually Tabitha set that up for us. It had like about 4 or 5 bedrooms, maybe 4.
No.
What? Am I tripping?
No, I feel like it had 1.
No, it did not have 1.
No, 2.
It has to have 4.
No, because Tabitha and Brianna argued about the master bedroom, which was another situation that happened. So when we got to the place, Tabitha and Brianna ended up getting into it about the master bedroom.
It was only 2 rooms. Like, it was 5
and
of us.
then me, my cousin Shay, I feel like we all stayed in you.
I slept in the living room.
Okay, well then, yeah, the rest of everybody said it was 2 rooms.
Okay, so maybe it was 2 rooms with like double bedding, but I do remember that when we got there, I know I'm pretty, like, all of us was just like, you know, this is just like any other time you visit somebody. But I feel like Brianna, for the price, she just felt like it should have been.
Since she found it.
No, Tabitha found it.
Oh, yeah.
Brianna felt
that's
like.
right. Tabitha found
for
it.
What we paid for, it should have been more accommodation.
She felt like she should sleep in the master bedroom. And when we first got into the house, then Brianna was like, well, I'm the first one in the room, so I feel like I should be a part of being the master bedroom. That's what it was.
Y'all, when she said that,
sleep?
She slept wherever Brianna slept, but no, wherever Tabitha slept. Penelope really ain't said nothing because she already know that people was already side-eyeing her from the beginning because she was supposed to drive. So she need to be quiet. But
not be quiet.
But when Brianna was like, I'm sleeping in the master bedroom, I swear to God, y'all, it was so quiet. And I was just like, I'm gonna just see how this unfolds. When I tell you Brianna, first, okay, so the names that you really need to remember is Brianna and Tabitha, because they were going at it. They had their little
throughout
the entire trip. So we got the rent-a-car situation, which naturally anybody would have been mad at that.
Yeah.
Then the room situation, because Brianna in her mind just felt like she was supposed to have the biggest room.
She was so entitled.
I don't understand, because we really just brought her around.
And the rest of us did not care because we're just so excited to be on a spring break trip, period.
Right. We about to turn up.
Yeah. So we all out there. We finally get the room settled, and we're all out there having a good time. Mind you, this is our first night.
Okay, so we go party. Okay, so this so we're like the guys and the girls, and we go into this place, and it was like, yeah, the road is coming at this time. Y'all just chill. Like, these people wanted us to come in. So it's kind of like Miami. They want you to come in and attract more people, and until the actual act gets there. So we get in there, and it was empty, and it was like a group of girls there. Okay, so allegedly I started this.
Not allegedly.
Allegedly, because I'm gonna defend myself. So we were told to come into the party, and there was the guys, the promoters, that was like, hey, y'all come in, we'll buy y'all drinks, whatever. So we all come in, and it's a whole bunch of us. So we come in, we're not paying attention to how when we're walking in, we're standing in front of these group of girls, and I guess they were kind of upset because we were blocking their view. So I had T on one side with her cousins, and then Brianna and Tabitha, and then on the other side it was the guys and me and Shay. So we're talking, Shay and I are talking, we're like, man, where's the road at? When is he coming? It's going to be a while. And then we hear these girls in the back, and they're talking all this noise. They're like, man, these girls standing in front of us. And they're just, just pretty much talking shit. And I was just like, okay, so Shay, I think we have a problem. Now, Shay,
Shay's
like,
not a fighter.
She's not a fighter. And I'm not saying I'm a self-proclaimed fighter, but she
never had a fighter day in her life.
But she will, she'll support her friends. So she was like, I think we do too. And I was like, am I tripping? Because I feel like these girls was talking so much stuff. Man, why these girls standing in front of us? And they blocking our mother effing view, all this stuff like that. Knowing me, at the time, I am a hothead, but I don't feel like I started this fight. And y'all keep saying this to this day that I started it. So I turned around and I asked the girls, I said, what's up? Like, y'all got a problem? Is it a problem? And the girls was like, yeah, it's a mother effing problem. What y'all trying to do? Oh, it's no talking. I popped her in the face. So I popped her in the face. And everybody, y'all, this was a brawl.
It was like 2 seconds within every little thing. So me at the time, I'm thinking, because my cousin used to start all the fights all the time when she come to visit us in college. So I'm thinking it's my cousin. So I think once y'all started the fight, then my cousin jumped into it. Whoever started it. Once she seen it, then she jumped into it. And then I'm thinking she's the one who started it. And then this is when I start jumping in it too. So now we're all fighting. This damn near the whole fucking bar.
And the boys were not fighting the females. It was some guys that were with the other group of girls. They were fighting them. They were trying to pull us apart. Brianna and Tabitha, even though they had their spats earlier, they were fighting. The only person that didn't fight was Penelope, but we not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm just saying? We just kind of brushed it under the rug, but we were throwing slugs for the rest of the night because we felt like that was a bonding experience.
Exactly. It was.
It really was.
We all knew it was a family at that moment.
Yeah. We was really bonding in an unconventional way.
Yeah.
And
it was just a big ass brawl
man,
fight.
and she was like the tallest one.
Yeah. She could have picked people up and threw them to the side. But it was a big ass fight. We were all the whole bar at this point is fighting. So then I think they say something about the police, and then I told me and my cousin, we gotta run. We run to the bathroom, so you don't. Nobody's trying to go to jail. So I'm like, everybody run. Let's all split up, because if we're all standing here in the same section, then they're going to think it's us and they're going to take us to jail or something. So we all take it off running. I think whoever still stayed outside was the ones who were kicked out. Because me and my cousin were in the bathroom. I don't know who else was in there with us, but I know we were in the bathroom because I was like, let's go.
It's at this point, it's kind of unclear where I was or where.
When we got outside, do you remember the police eventually did come up to us? Because now we're outside making the party. Remember we was outside on the street and pulling up shirts. Well, we weren't, but my cousin was.
Yeah.
She was pulling up her shirts, and they was trying to get their beads and stuff. And the police finally come talk to us about the situation, or if it wasn't the police, it was just people.
Yeah.
And they were like, the girl, she was really on drugs, and she was saying she was going to kill you. Yeah, she was talking about she would kill us. Threatening us, and I don't know if they took her to jail or whatever.
Yeah, she was on some drugs, but that's why she, ended up in a bad situation, to say the least. But to this day, we always talk about this fight, and I just want to clear my name. I'm glad we're talking about this. I did not start this fight.
You started the fight.
How?
But I thought it was my cousin, and to find out it wasn't her, so it was you.
She was
you
also
admitted to it.
No, I admitted to defending myself, yes.
Okay, you might not have started it. However, you were the one who,
man, she had me messed up
within our group who had the fight.
All I'm saying, ain't no hoe.
The thing I'm just saying is, like, I thought it was my cousin, and it ended up being you.
That's how it went. So that night was pretty cool because we ended up finding somewhere else to go. We had a good time. The next morning we woke up, went to the beach. This beach party, had a really good time, and then that's when our friends was like, "Hey, our friends from college was actually throwing a party out there," and so we were gonna go there that night. And we did. This is the night that we got into
Brianna.
it.
Oh, is it the night?
This is y'all. Me and T got into it, y'all.
Did. So it's the same night. Me and you got into it, and Brianna and Tabitha got into it.
This was the same night.
Okay, then let's do it.
We had came from one party, and T, you know, she had ended up meeting these people on the street. And so I was trying to get her attention, but I was giving her attention while she was talking to someone. And I was like, come on, let's go. They leaving.
Oh, yeah, it was people from the school.
Yeah. And I was like, come on, let's leave. And she was like, no, I'm talking and you're being rude. But me at the time, I'm tips, you know, I'm drunk. And I'm like, I feel like I was being disrespected. And I was like, well, I said something fly, and so we ended up getting into it like really bad, like arguing on it. And T's cousin was like, "Come on, y'all friends."
And she was.
She was like, "Y'all friends." And the funny part about it is she ended up tripping him.
Oh yeah, she tripped
and she twisted her ankle.
But that was normal for her.
But she twisted her ankle because she really wanted us to stop arguing. But we got into it really, really bad. And I feel like that kind of was like a domino effect because Tabitha and Brianna, you know, they had already been having their animosity since the car situation. And Tabitha, she was okay. She's really like a control person. She's very domineering. So Brianna, she is too, and she's very condescending sometimes because she's, you know, she just felt entitled to different things. So she more so felt like Tabitha was dumb, and she made her feel like that every chance she got. So
when did they get into it?
They got into it at McDonald's because I guess like Tabitha kept asking, like, all right, did everybody order food? I'm ready to go. And what are you waiting on? And Brianna was like, duh, bitch, like I ordered my food. Like, this bitch is dumb as fuck. Like, what do you think I'm waiting on? And so they pretty much, honestly, I feel like they just really got into it because me and T got into it. And they had already been, you know, throwing little slugs at each other.
Like animosity. So they were just going back and forth, calling each other dumb bitches and all kind of bitches back and forth. And it was
we were in McDonald's, y'all, in South Padre.
Yeah, it was very entertaining to see, but I knew neither one. I don't know if you thought, but I never thought they were ever going to fight. But we had to eventually separate them because it was getting a little too heated.
It really was, and it was kind of lame for them to be going back and forth because they're not even those type of people. But yeah, it was just like you know how it is. We really learned a lot on the trip. Like, well, I'm not trying to end it right there, but it's just like we just, you know, you getting to know people. Like.
You learn a lot about each other on trips, period.
Yeah, and where alcohol is mixed. But I kind of, you know, what really was a big deal was that me and T got into it because everybody kind of like fed off of that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you have some people asking like, what happened?
Didn't the boys get into it too?
I feel like they did too because the alcohol had a lot to play in, but I really feel like, I just honestly feel like when we got into it, everybody else got into it because it's just like, dang, like their friends and everybody else got into it.
It was just like part of life though.
Did we talk about it? Did we talk about it that night or what? Or we just kind of brushed it on the rug?
I think we brushed it on the rug. I don't think we talked about it until like later on. But again, it's something to laugh about now. But
it was
funny. At that time, it was just like
she was like, back up because you being rude, and I was like, I ain't being motherfucking
it was like
rude.
too much at the time. Yeah, but it's funny now to like look back on. But
I didn't like that because you don't want to get into it with your friends, you know,
at all. And I
don't think we got it. I feel like I've gotten into it with you all of
one time. I think so.
One time.
I can remember.
No, remember that time.
And save it for the next video.
Okay, I remember.
Thank you guys for watching our video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you like this video and you want another video with Lo, please let us know in the comments below. Thank you. Bye, guys. Say bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.